Okay, so today we're going to be speaking about the Gaza-Israel conflict. So topics that we're going to discuss during this presentation is the background, the international response to these attacks, the international relations that are complicated due to these attacks, and the economic implications that these attacks have had on the West as well. So, getting into the background of the Israel-Hamas conflicts refers to the ongoing hostilities between the Israel and Palestine militant group known as Hamas. These conflicts are particularly in the Gaza Strip, and the conflict has seen periods of escalated violence, including wars and smaller scale skirmishes that they've had in the past. The situation is very complex with historical roots that date back all the way to the early 20th century. And it involves issues related to their territories, their national identities, and their sovereignty. Um, so the most recent escalation was an attack from Hamas on October 7th, 2023. And that is when Hamas launched a significant attack on the Israel from the Gaza Strip, leading to an even more severe response from Israel. Israel declared all-out war and decided to attack back, and um, many countries saw that as excessive force. So let's talk about the international response. Um, the conflicts between Israel and Hamas has caused a rippling effect, leading to an increase in hate crimes against both Muslims and Jews in Western countries. The U.S. has reported a 172% increase in complaints of Islamophobia and anti-Arab bias since October 7th, 2023. And these incidents can range from just verbal harassment to physical violence. Um, and it's just crazy to see how one incident across the globe can spark such hatred, even even in a society with such diverse communities like the U.S. Um, but there's been several protests and demonstrations that have ended in violence, not only here in the United States, but like in the UK as well. So now let's get into the international relations. So there's been a great strain on international relations since this conflict started recently. Um, First off, the humanitarian crisis that's now in Gaza. Um, very Nations are calling for a ceasefire so they can bring in humanitarian relief, but Israel will not provide a ceasefire. And there's been several attempts at bringing in aid to certain areas within the Gaza Strip to support these people, but Israel is not really, again, being the ones who want to cooperate to coordinate that effort. So it's led to very harsh diplomatic strains. Several countries have actually pulled their ambassadors out from Israel. And then we also have the regional dynamics are changing. So a lot of these people are being forced out of the Gaza Strip now, fleeing from the conflict between Hamas and Israel, and so that's bringing refugees and dispersing people across the country, and that's changing population of surrounding countries and also bringing in tensions um, of how to feed them, where to help them, or where to provide shelter for them. So that's putting stress on not only on Israel for the conflict and Palestine for the conflict, but surrounding countries as well, because now they're having to cope with these the stresses of war, so that's really putting a strain on their relationships as well. And then we have the peace process challenge, like I spoke on just a second ago with the humanitarian. Um, we're trying to find common ground and create a ceasefire here, but neither side is really willing to cooperate with the other to de-escalate. So that's causing a lot of stress on the international relations as well, because the United States is trying to see its way in there to make sure that we can stop the conflict, but again, no resolution has been found yet. So lastly, let's talk about the economic impact. So obviously, Middle East, we're going to be talking about changes in oil prices. Oil prices have gone up um, due to that region's significant contributions to the oil supply. Global trade, if the war continues, it could create tensions within trading and cause business and investors to become more cautious, leading to an economic slowdown. And then investor behavior. That's not only that's us as people who are observing this war go on. We tend to want to hoard our finances instead of spend because we're afraid. It's ingrained in us as when we go to war, we need to hold on to what we have because we don't know what the economy is going to be like. So that tends for everyone to want to hold on to their funds instead of spending it, which could end up impeding our economic growth and lead us into another recession. So we've seen that impact so far on the stock markets and exchange rates, and it's just it can definitely put a huge stress on not only the U.S. market but globally as well. So it's had a significant impact. All right, here's my works cited page. Thank you so much for your time.